This week marks the start of a break in Great Lakes shipping. It's a time when lakes freeze over, the locks at Sault Ste. Marie shut down, crews on big freighters have the chance to go home to their families. But not everybody stops working. Great Lakes Today reporter Elizabeth Miller joins Darielle Snipes now to tell us what happens during this 10-week break and why the industry is looking forward to 2017.
Thanks, Rick. So Elizabeth, let's start with the 2016 shipping season. It was pretty lackluster. The cargo shipments of materials such as coal, salt, and limestone fell 4.5%. So what was the reason for that?
Well, the reason for the decline isn't completely clear, but it really depends on what the markets are doing, the steel market and the grain market, for example. But something I noticed, I looked at the Lake Carriers Association's numbers for the last 10 years, and since 2009, which was the beginning of the recession, the association's annual numbers haven't exceeded 100 million tons of cargo like they did before 2009. Actually, for the last 3 years, it's been declining and it's been under 90 million tons.
Wow. So for your story, you looked at the end of the shipping season and you focused on the Great Lakes Towing, a company that's been in Cleveland for 100 years. And so what happens at the end of the season?
Well, for Great Lakes Towing, their employees used to go to Florida and spend the winter there in the past, but today it's their busiest time of year. So first they're repairing their tugboats, which they use to assist ships going to 40 ports across the Great Lakes, but they also are repairing their clients' ships, doing steel repairs or engine repairs, stuff like that. And they actually have to hire more employees because of all this repair work, which is something that's not really happening with most shipping workers. They're also building new tugs, which is pretty unheard of in this region. And they're building them to replace their own aging fleet.
Wow, so you would think that it would slow down by getting more busy in the off season. So with the people you spoke with, they're cautiously optimistic about the 2017 season.
Yeah, so even though 2016 shipping was down, they experienced a little bit of a bump in the fourth quarter of 2016, which the Interlake Steamship Company and Great Lakes Towing both say kind of might point to some growth in 2017. But the other optimism stems from one of President-elect Trump's biggest campaign promises, which is rebuilding infrastructure in the region. I spoke to Great Lakes Towing President Joe Stark and about his predictions for 2017. Here's what he had to say.
We're really optimistic that the new president will finally initiate some of these infrastructure programs and rebuild the infrastructure of the country. Any project that requires more steel and more building materials will help our business.
And so all of this will start back up again on March 25th, which is when the Soo Locks open back up.
All right, well, Elizabeth Miller, thank you so much for that story. Rick, back to you.
Thank you, Darielle. Thank you, Elizabeth. Great Lakes Today is a collaboration led by WBFO Buffalo, IdeaStream Cleveland, and WXXI Rochester. You can hear Elizabeth's full story tomorrow during Morning Edition on 90.3 WCPN or by going to our website, ideastream.org/ideasnow.